players, thank you for joining us yet again for a very, very, very special edition of the Soul and Stereo Sessions. And it's special because I am here with someone who means a lot to my boy. I'm not talking about Keith Sweat. I ain't talking about Biggie. I ain't talking about Missy.
What?
Calm down. We're going to do that in a second. But for most of you who know me as the guy online who complains about songs you love, but more importantly, I have the duty and honor to be a great friend and mentor of many, many young people in the communities I've worked in, specifically in my current home of Birmingham, Alabama. And the brother we're here today is someone who I have known since 2010, probably were 10 when I met you,
Yeah,
something like that. And I
yeah.
have
We're gonna
seen,
go with it.
well, we're gonna roll with it. I've seen him fulfill his dream of not only being a musician, not only being a social media sensation, not only being a designer, not only being an actor, but an incredible asset to his community today. And we are going to talk about his story, how he achieved his dreams, and hopefully, how, if you're listening, how you can achieve yours too. So allow me to welcome the one and only Mr. Edwards' boy, Mr. LT Fresh. What up?
What? That's me. That's me. That's me.
How are you this fine day?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm glad we finally got on. I'm the old
Oh
man,
yeah.
so it took us forever to get this working. But we here
Yeah.
now and we ready to turn up.
Oh yeah. It's only right. It's
Yes,
only right.
of course. So, I know you very well, but I want you to introduce yourself to my audience. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I am Larry. Everybody know me by Larry Thomas. That's my actual name, y'all. But I go by LT Fresh.
Hmm.
From Birmingham, Alabama. I'm 23 years old. Living in Atlanta now. Um, Kind of grew up on like one of the rougher sides of Birmingham. Um, Church, was definitely one of those things that kind of just helped, kind of shape my life into what I kind of wanted to do, kind of where I wanted to go. And that kind of led me to being an actor, a singer, a dancer, getting into clothing designs, all kind of different stuff. So it's a whole lot to me. It's really a lot. We'll be sitting here for like what 24 hours, really trying to talk about it.
You already
But
know.
but just know that I'm just a creative guy that really like to do a whole lot of different stuff, you know, and a whole lot of different projects. So that's kind of who I am.
Well, before we get a little bit into film and music specifically, because you
Yeah.
have done a lot in both of those spaces, people are going to be blown away with they seeing what you have done in such a short period of time. You mentioned church because that's where I met you. And
Yeah.
I have talked many times specifically with hip hop, and R&B for sure, for sure. The church is
Mhm.
the training ground for a lot of young black artists. Tell me about your time at church and how you became to grow into your passions.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, at church, Miss Edward, Um, well, do they call you Mr. Edward on here? Y'all, I'll be calling you Mr. Edward or Ed Man. So, what they know you by?
They call me all kind of terrible things. Mr. Edward is
Oh,
all good. So we gonna keep the stands at bay and you gonna do that today.
oh gosh. But yeah, so at church we had this thing called YPN, which is Youth and Parent Network. And within that network, there was a whole lot of fields, whether you wanted to serve and give back to the community, whether you wanted to be in the acting side of things. We had a whole lot of different skits. We had a whole lot of different plays, and going on throughout a lot of the holiday events or even just some random stuff. Also, I was even eligible to be able to create my own group, which kind of led me to become more of a songwriter and a singer and a performer. I was able to use that platform to create a group where I was writing songs and taking different stuff and being able to create different short skits into different performances. And we'll go in front of the church and perform and even get invited to other churches to perform. So that's kind of how that kind of really shaped and molded me to the guy I am now. We was also able to just have mentoring events, with Mr. Edward. We was able to just be ourselves really within the church space. So yeah, that's kind of how that's really how it went down.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about that group, Hype
Oh
for
yeah.
Christ. So, like
Oh
this,
snap. We
man,
gotta we gotta
we
blow the dust. We gotta blow the dust off.
I gotta take it back because that was a moment.
Take it back.
So there, I love this group because this was a group where you really not only was writing the songs, you were doing a choreography. You got the
Yeah.
ladies and the brothers set up at the front of the church. We're gonna do that. We're not gonna talk about the time when you threw the robe and hit one of our beloved deaconesses in the head. We're gonna forget about
Yeah.
that part. But
Let's not. Let's
uh,
not. Oh, you went there. You went all the way there.
oh, I never forget. But the point is, it was a training ground for you to really learn to
It really was.
write, where it was an opportunity to kind of help choreograph. What were some of the
Mhm.
struggles and things that you had to overcome to learn how to be basically a leader among your peers to
Yeah.
create this music and performances?
Yeah, see, like I was around, I want to say I was around 14 years old when I created that group. Shout out to Sierra, shout out to Morgan, Anaya, Caleb, a whole other people who had hands into Hype for Christ. This was really a group of really showing you that no matter how young you are, you can still pursue your dreams. No matter how young you are, it's never too early. Matter how young you are, you still can get a lot done in such a short amount of time. So with that, I think it always takes an upper leader with good morals and dignity. Shout out to Pastor John Human Williams, who really just saw something and was like, you know what, just do it, just do it. And I like that mindset. And that's the mindset I kind of have still now. It's just a just do it mindset. It's like it's no waiting. Like just go ahead and do it. It's no right and wrong for real in creating because it's something that you want to create. So if it's something that you're creating, it's no wrong, right or wrong way to do it. It's your idea. So when I took that, I kind of was just like, hey, y'all, I got this song I wrote. Um, we're gonna have to just see how we can do it. Sierra Morgan and I, we literally had rehearsals at the church, like late nights, early morning sometime, and we just come up with these different dances. We come up with the movement of it, and then next thing you know, we're performing it in front of the church, and getting so many wonderful, great feedback from that. So some struggles that came along with that. Of course, I was young, so um, I couldn't do a lot of stuff. Finances was one of those things that kind of got in the way. But now to this day, I saw that finances, really does not, you know, dignify like exactly, what you can and cannot do because see, you literally have your hands. So make use of it. So a lot of that stuff, I kind of just got really creative with like building stuff, started designing. That's really how I started getting more into design because I literally had to start like taking some fabrics, cutting it up, going to different dollar stores, just using some glitter or some letters and some tape and just taping our names onto it. That was before we actually had got t-shirts. So with that, it's just really just like everything is possible. So even through the struggles, you can always find a way to get around it. So it's kind of it.
And the thing that was so great is you just never took no for an answer. Y'all were like,
Oh
we
yeah,
gonna make this work regardless. And let's transition that a little bit from not just your efforts at church, but also at school. So you
yeah.
became at your high school like that dude for being the dude that gets the party started. And I know that it really grew your social media following, and we
Oh
know
yeah.
how important that reach is. So let's talk a little bit about how you took your platform, because look, I'm a grown dude that works in government and you got a quadrillion more followers than me. How did you take your passion and use that to grow your social media platform from
Yeah.
performing at school, performing at church, and putting yourself for everybody to know and love?
Oh yeah, so school was definitely the number, if not church, school was definitely the number one platform for me. I really just took that energy of me just kind of being this different guy. Cause see, like, of course I'm plus size. And well, I don't know what, yeah, we're gonna just go with that. So of course I'm plus size
You
and
go with
guys,
that.
and it was like the fashion, of course, for plus size guys is really not all of that. And I really wanted to get more to fashion. So literally I started creating a whole bunch of different stuff, whether I was ripping up clothes, tearing it up, transitioning to something else to just kind of make it more eye-catching and appealing. So when I go to school, people always just like, oh, okay, okay, okay. We like, okay, we vibe with it, okay. Like, cool, cool. But at the same time, it was just like, dang, I know I just want to be this entertainer. I want to do music. I didn't, to be honest, when I was in high school, I really didn't know if I wanted to do more full on music or full on acting or dancing, because all of the three I love it equally. So it was just like, you know what, we're gonna just be this crazy fun guy, on social media. So my best friend and I, shout out to my bestie Mercedes. She go by Ben. She's also an artist as well. But we literally during the summer, we're at that time Snapchat was popping, like popping, popping. So during the summer, we would get on my Snapchat, do all kinds of crazy fun stuff. Just people just was watching. Whether we was in the middle of the street, we would get out. We would just burst into dance. Whether we're inside of the Hoover River Chase Galleria getting kicked out, we'll just sit in there, film, and dance and act crazy and do all kind of crazy stuff that people kind of drew to, and they kind of just built the platform on Snapchat, then kind of transitioned over to Instagram. And that time I was more so getting more into my performance bag. And so my best friend and I, of course, we wrote a song in our high school, and we performed it at the talent show and literally won. So it's a lot. So that goes to show you that you can really just use what you have and be able to climb up the ladder slowly but surely. So I'm always thankful for the little small steps. So that's one thing that we've been talking about lately is just being grateful for the small steps, because you really never know where those small steps and what you've done in your past is going to lead you. I guess we can talk about that too a little further on, how some bookings happen, but just know the stuff that you're doing right now is the stuff that's going to kind of shape and mold you for later on. So all of the stuff that you're doing, making sure that your platform is staying clean, that you're staying engaged, and you're staying kind of connected with yourself and not drifting off. So that's kind of how that happened. And high school was definitely one of those places that really helped build my the artist and the person I am today. Oh, and let's not even talk about going to the games, because see,
I remember the
um,
game videos. Yes, you got to talk
oh
about
yeah,
that real quick because those really were popping.
oh yeah. So I would literally go to the different high school games. It kind of got started. Dang, I wish I was back in Atlanta. I'm back in Birmingham right now, but I would have shown y'all the yearbook. Um, literally, I would go to the football games and go to the stand. I really wasn't a big, huge fan of our high school band, y'all. But um, so I decided that I was gonna drag a trash can in front of the student section and create my own band. So it was me and a whole bunch of other people that wanted to hang around me at at the football games. And we literally drew this big old trash can over in front of the student section and started being on it. And at that point, I was making all kind of different chants, all kind of different songs, just doing it on that trash can. And at that point, it led to one of the crazy, chaotic things in Spain Park High School history, where literally everybody would come just to see me on that trash can, and it literally made um, the top one of the top pages in the Spain Park High School yearbook. So that was one of the craziest things ever.
It was all about leaning into your passions. That's what that
Right?
was, because that was some crazy stuff. Now, you mentioned a little bit early on how these little things sowed the seeds for you eventually moving, going to Atlanta, doing some other things, and helping you get auditions that would land on TV projects. So let's talk
Mhm.
before we talk specifically about some of those projects, because you've been on a lot of stuff. Before we
Oh
talk about
gosh.
that, let's talk about moving to Atlanta. I know you. I know you are a Birmingham boy.
Oh yeah.
How did you get the strength and the courage to be like, I'm just gonna go move to ATL? I mean, you have a supportive family, but it's not like you come from a bunch of money. So how were you
Right.
able to make that transition and to have the strength to be like, I'm gonna bet on myself and do this?
Oh yeah. Well, first, let me go ahead and take it back a little bit further because see, I like to always let people know that, the beauty of everything right now is not the right now. You can come from something. So literally, my family and I, we literally was living in a hotel,
Mhm.
literally for like what about 3 years, and I know you know it, Mr. Elwood.
Yep.
So I always like to tell people like my family and I, we was living in a hotel for like about 3 years, y'all. And it was a tough situation after my grandmother passed. But from that, God literally blessed us to be able to move into such a better place. And at that time, I didn't like I had graduated high school, and I was just like I can't leave, like because my goal was to leave and go straight to Atlanta. But I was like, my family is still here in this hotel, and I'm not leaving until I'll be able to be the one to help get my family out of that. So literally, I DoorDashed every day. DoorDash is one of the top things that I've done, y'all, and you can do it too. I always like to encourage people. Like if you're not happy in whatever you're doing or doing something else, I'm just like, go work for yourself. You can do DoorDash or you can do Instacart, all of those independent contractor jobs, gig jobs. You can look. That's literally the only thing I've been doing since high school, and I was able to buy a car, get my family out of a hotel, and move myself to one of the most expensive places to me, at least, because it's not like in Birmingham,
Oh
but
Lord.
and it's plus on a better side of Atlanta in like Alpharetta and Roswell. So it's just like you can do it. So that's one thing I always just like to highlight is that like you can literally come from nothing and go and continue to grow. So going on from that, how I really got the courage to move to Atlanta was just like, you know, at the time, Birmingham did not have a whole lot of resources for me, at least not at the time. But Birmingham's really came on the come up now, y'all. Like, shout out to what's his name? What's the mayor's name? Mayor
Mayor
Randall.
Randall Woodfin, yes, the man
Yeah.
on my checks.
Oh yeah, shout out to him because he's been doing his thing. With that, which led to so many different opportunities like the World Games. I was able to go and perform there and a whole bunch of other different stuff. But it was just like Atlanta was the place I needed to be. My initial goal was to go there to go to one of your schools, Atlanta Institute of Music and Media, where I would go and get training on the technical side of things so I can be able to learn and produce my own music. Um, but when I had started going there to visit, it was more so leading to like, we want you on this project, we want you on this project. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna move there and I'm gonna continue to do what I'm already doing, DoorDash and Instacart, and we're gonna just make this thing work. It was so scary. It really took a toll on my mental health, y'all. So I feel like mentally and financially, to be honest, when I first moved to Atlanta, I wasn't sort of kind of prepared, but I made it work. It was just like it took a long time for me to kind of figure out the strategies and the goals that I wanted to do to be able to do it. Because see, look, I went there paying like a $1,500 rent, and the money just wasn't adding up. So at that point, that's right when they wanted to start booking me for different roles. So I literally moved to Atlanta. As soon as I got in there, I was thrown on set. And the thing about being thrown on set, it was just like the checks are not coming in when you thinking they're gonna come in. They're gonna come in way later. So it was like I was spending all my time doing that, but at the same time, at the end of the day, I wasn't making the money that I needed to pay my bills on time. So I was door dashing to like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, doing all kind of different stuff, running around, grocery shopping for people, and making it work and making sure my bills and stuff was paid. So it really took a lot of courage for me to go to Atlanta, but we made it work. That's all I can say. We made it work.
Y'all are listening to a real hustler because he is working for his dreams. I'm going to
Oh
talk a
yeah.
little bit before we get into specifically the TV project, just because folks are wanting to know. Like, before we start kind of nailing some of these projects that you've been on, how did you
Okay.
even get to audition? Like, how did you get from dude who just showed up in Atlanta, I'm door dashing, I'm Instacarting, I'm trying to survive, to landing on a set? Like, how were you discovered?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you the exact story. It was the craziest thing. So Instacart, y'all. you never know who you meet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm always just like your personality and the way you carry yourself in your past and the way how you present yourself is really going to build you up for later on. So literally, I was Instacarting y'all in Publix, and I want to say the week before, I had just designed like this crazy shirt that had like a whole bunch of bandanas sewed onto it, and it had some rips, whole bunch of stuff for my one of my past songs called Confident. And so I wore it in there, and this guy literally came up to me and was like, "Yo, I like this. Where you get this from?" I'm like, "Oh, I just made this like a couple of weeks ago, for my song that I had recorded." He was like, "Whoa, you made this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm a designer. I'm a design." He was like, "Oh man, you a designer?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'm kind of sort of everything, dancer, actor, singer, songwriter, yada yada yada." And he was like, "Oh, really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "That is so crazy that you say you're an actor." He was like, "So you act, or you just get into it?" I'm like, I mean, I act, but I really haven't gotten into anything yet because see, at the time I was still just kind of bouncing off my music, and I kind of just act inside my music videos, and of course, my short reels and stuff for like Snapchat and Instagram. So he was like, "Oh, okay, cool." He was like, "Well, you know what? Is it cool if I send you something later on? If I get your email, if you don't mind." So I'm just like, "Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, whatever." And so I'm always thinking people, I'm always giving everybody the same energy. But at the time I was just like, I don't know, he could just be all talk, you know what I'm saying? So
Exactly. You don't know this
so
dude.
I'm right, I'm like, but yeah, I'm like, yeah, whatever, have my email. Literally 2 days later, I got an email and he was like, so it's not a big role, but they want you, I feel like I sent you, he said, I feel like if you can send me a headshot, if you have any headshots, this time I didn't have professional headshots. Um, or just send me a selfie. He said, I think I can get you on this film that I'm working on. He didn't tell me the name, he didn't tell me the production at the time. He was like, I'll get you on this film that I'm working on. And we're filming it in Atlanta. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I just sent him a selfie and sent it over. And next thing you know, he told me to show up at a location. I felt like it was sketchy. I really did. I mean, but I literally just moved to Atlanta, so I was just like, well, this is what I came here for. So we we're gonna pray and
We
hope
gonna pray on
and
it.
we're gonna pray and see what this is talking about. I'm over creeping around the corner, like, where am I going? And next thing you know, I start seeing all these securities in the parking lot. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking this I might be going to somebody's Tubi movie set, or sometime not hating on Tubi movie people, because Tubi got some good stuff too. But I was thinking I was going to maybe like a independent film person or something like a lower budget film. So that's what I mentally had my mind prepared for. But when I got there, God was like, this song way bigger. I literally pulled up on set and I'm walking past Neo and Drea from the Basketball Wives and all kind of people just roaming around. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, wait a minute. And I'm like, whoa, that was just Neo just walked past me casual and was just like, what up? And I'm like, yeah, what up? And I'm sure Miss Ed will probably throw it in a clip somewhere, but
Yep.
yo, like that was one of the craziest things. And then I found out I was filming for BET, The Sound of Christmas. That was my very first set that I was on. And from this day, um, the guy, he continues to send me more and more and more opportunities, and give me different advice on what to do and what not to do. And he just always just so genuine and so nice and so giving, to just want to continue to just give me these different opportunities. So that led to me, well, I guess we'll talk about that later, but it led to me doing a whole bunch of more projects with this guy, and it's just been truly amazing.
Well, some of the projects, I mean, you've done a ton. Tom Swift, the Johnsons, Wild and Out. Which one is your favorite? Which one have you enjoyed the most?
Out of just like films, completely, or just like out of the ones you just mentioned.
Out of all of them, not just those three.
Well, of course, I'm gonna have to put my top one as The Color Purple.
Yes, and we're gonna
So
get to that one. We're gonna
we're
get
gonna
to
get
that
to
one.
it, but I would definitely say The Color Purple was one of those ones for experience for a lifetime history, actually. Like just seeing that in the theaters and seeing me on the screen was just like crazy.
It
Was
was,
crazy.
it's crazy. So let's get to Color Purple since you mentioned it. That was one of those gigs. It was amazing to see you actually on screen. Tell me about the process of being on set. And we'll talk about your scenes in a second. But like
Okay.
just being on set with these major stars and like it's a
Oh
million
yeah.
people in these dance sets. How was that being on set with all of that going on?
Man, it was the wildest thing ever. Because see, the Color Purple actually was the biggest set that I was on. Well, at the time it was the biggest one because now we're doing something else right now.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna get to that too.
So, but at the time, it was the biggest thing that I've done, and just to see the process of it all, of how everything behind the scenes come together. Now, the Color Purple, the way how they filmed that, it was nuts. See, I was there for like about I think 2 weeks filming for like about 2 weeks, and just to see how the effects come together, how the dancers have to come together all as one, how even background is such a big part. It's like everything really structures in together. The way how you have to move, the way how you have to look on cue, the way how you have to make sure you're not missing your part because then it affects the whole family. We have to start over. And you be out there till how long we were, till like about 3 a.m. in the freezing cold,
Woo.
dancing your butt off. So it it's crazy, and then you really work a long time to practice, basically, considering that, like, I was booked on that show as background first. That I guess we can get on deeper into that later on, but I was booked as background first onto that. So when working as background, you really have to get there early, and you have to be there on set for a long amount of time, and you're not sure exactly who the producers are really going to choose because they overbook a lot. So a lot of times, a lot of background do not get seen. A lot of backgrounds really, really, really background unless they really see something in you and they think that they can switch your role, which happens a lot. So we can talk about that later on too. But um, with that, it was just like, okay, you have to really learn. And the more you learn different stuff, the more you be able to kind of carry yourself and kind of remain calm when you start seeing these big name artists come on set like Taraji P. Henson and Tamala Mann and Fantasia and all these and Haley. So it was one of those things that was just like, wow, I'm really here. I'm really just came from Birmingham, came to Atlanta, and woof.
So at first you were in this gigantic dance scene. I think it was I can't remember if it was near the end of the movie. I can picture it. My boy D
It
Roth,
was,
he'll put up the photo. But like the
yeah.
big old dance scene where everybody was going
Yeah,
crazy.
Suge Avery come to town.
Yeah,
It
she'll
was
come into
it was
town.
it was when she made her first appearance. So the way we filmed it like with her making her grand entrance as she rolled in on that big red truck in front of Tamla Man. And I forget the other guy's name who played the pastor in the movie. I forget his name, but we was all standing there and all these crazy birds was going crazy.
Yep.
And Taraji just pulls up. And it's crazy at the time when we was filming it, I didn't actually know that she was gonna pull up like that. She actually pulled up in front of us while we was right there. And it was just like, wait, this is nuts. And at that time I was booked as background. So um literally after that, it was a whole nother story. So wait, how did I even get there? Because see, at first I was background. Okay, so background, we was literally just pedestrians walking up the street. So you really didn't see us a lot in the movie. But literally they amongst a whole bunch of people, it was about that day, it was booked about, I want to say almost about 300, 400 backgrounds.
Mm.
And out of those amount of people, it was only about 8 people in that scene with Tamla Man. And they was literally like, you, you, come on. And I was one of them. And they grabbed us, took us onto a whole nother set, and we was placed right there with Tamla Man. At that point, then I was able to go into the Suge Avery Come to Town scene. Still booked as background, but you just don't know how crazy you have to be able to pick up on the dance moves that the principal dancers are doing in about 30 seconds and just go full out. Let that sink in, guys.
And
I was
you did.
principal dancers are up here by Taraji P. Henson car. Background, we all went in the back. We all the way in the back. And so at that point, I'm just like, okay, they're doing this, they're doing this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, da da da. At that point, after we got done filming that first half, they ain't like it. I'm like, we're good. Right to my cue. My cue was to run out of a vegetable store and come on out into the street. And I made sure I wasn't going to the back no more. I literally ran out into the street and stayed right there by that car and went full out into the choreography.
I was
And then
told, I was like, when the scene hits, look for the birds. When the birds fly up, that like
yeah,
all everything is starting to go down, and you were
that's when it
right
happens.
there. Yeah,
It
you
literally
were.
cuts right. It literally goes right into it together. The bird scene and straight to the Sugar Avery coming town scene, and all the dancers are going crazy. So at that point, I'm running out of a grocery store and literally runs to the like, what is it? If you're looking at the screen, it would be the left hand side of Taraji P. Henson's car, and I'm right there, going full out in choreography. And at that point, they was just like, "Whoa, like you background, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It was like, "But you was doing the dance." Like, I'm sorry. I thought I was about to get kicked off set. But I was like, no. It's good, but we gotta switch some stuff around because you was doing it and you're very much seen doing that in the scene. So
Yes.
that's kind of goes to show you just kind of fight for what you want. I mean, do it respectfully and do it in a manner where it's not like too crazy, but sometimes I do crazy stuff. So
That's
I
part of
mean,
who what makes LT LT. But the point is, you were able to maximize that time. You've got eyes on you, and you were front and center and the color
oh
purple.
yeah.
That
Oh
is
yeah.
crazy. That is crazy to me. So there are some other projects that you have going on. It's a little early in the process, so we can't give too
Yeah.
many details. But what can
My
you tell
God.
us about something big that you have coming up pretty soon?
Okay, so right now I actually just got off set this week, and it's one of the craziest films that I'm really excited to see. We're filming in Atlanta, and it's definitely gonna be. It's definitely one of those experiences like Taraji P Henson, Tamla Man, meeting them, some great icons on this new movie that's gonna be coming out. I'm not really sure when it's coming out, but it's gonna be coming out, guys. So look for it. I'll definitely be posting on my Insta. Um, and there is a project that I worked on in the past that I'm able to talk about just a little bit.
Just a little. Don't get me in
Just a
trouble.
little bit. Right. But I will say I've been on tour with a wonderful cast of people. Um Jordan Rice. She plays in the movie, I mean in the show on Apple TV called The Swaggers. And the Backpack Kid, the guy who made the floss, y'all be seeing him on Fortnite and
Mhm.
all over his social media is crazy and wow. Both of those beautiful human beings are like so I'm so happy I met them. They're so genuine, so nice, so crazy creative. I think Jordan right now is actually creating her own show. So I have to really go follow up on that. But shout out to both of them. So all three of us are hosts on a show that we're traveling doing with PBS, and it's called Hope Givers. So Jordan Rice is actually one of their first season hosts. So it was so great to meet her, and they kind of added me and Backpack Kid and I along to the addition to going on tour. So we literally go on tour to these different schools to kind of just shine a light on mental health, making them more aware, letting them know that it's okay to be creative, it's okay to be yourself, it's okay to cry, it's okay to not be okay, because we all are human. And look, we have all these different resources to help you in case of something comes up, like teen suicide is one of the top things in America, y'all. And that's one of our keys that we was really trying to highlight that like it's I mean, sometimes we get down and depressed, and it's okay. We all are human, but at the same time, just know there's somebody out there really willing to talk to you, willing to help, willing to even just be a friend. So that's kind of who we were on the tour. So we literally go there. We have these different dance parties. We giving out prizes all over the place. We going to tour this school. Wonderful. I think we went to LaGrange High School. One of them. It was so magical just seeing all of those kids just going crazy, excited to be there. Um, I think it was another school where we was able to go and see all of the crazy stuff they have. I think it was still LaGrange that had like an indoor football field
Mm.
where practice. I'd never seen a high school with that. So literally, whenever I get a chance to post my our vlog that we did, I know I shared some special clips with you, Mr. Elwood.
Hmm.
Um, but I can't wait to post that full vlog. So it was nuts. They had an indoor football field. They had snakes, y'all. Now hold on. I
They
don't
had
know if I sent
snakes.
you. Yeah, I don't know if I sent you a picture. I'm gonna have to send that so you can put it in here too. But they had like a whole like petting form or something with a snake. Backpack Kid was very excited to hold a snake, but I was like, y'all get this, yeah, get, get this away from me. I'm not holding a snake. But at the time, they just put the snake in my hand, y'all.
I can't wait to see this. I cannot wait to see
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So y'all, they had snakes and stuff. They had their own. They're teaching kids there how to change oil and
Hmm.
change your tires, like a whole like engineering department. Like they was in there breaking down cars and putting it back together. It was, and they even had like their own racing. I might be getting it mixed up with certain schools, but I'm just talking in general. Some of the stuff I've seen on tour, but even one school had like actually like a derby racing, like go-kart racing. They
Hmm.
would build their go-karts and they would go to other different schools and compete against other schools that had, I guess, go-karts and stuff too. It was wild. So some of these schools that you'll see on the tour, it was just like amazing.
Well,
Amazing.
can you tell us, or is it still to be determined when this show will be airing, or we just need to stay tuned to your social media channels?
Right now it's just a tour. Right now it's just a tour and we're gonna see where it goes. That's all I can say.
Well, again, I ain't trying to get nobody in trouble. Chase tuned to LT social media channels. We're gonna have that rolling. My boy D Roth is gonna put that up there so everybody can follow you and
Oh
check you
yeah.
out there. So let's pivot a little bit. We talked about film, but in our remaining time, we got a little bit of time left. I want to
Okay.
talk about the music aspect because we
Oh
touched on
yeah.
it early on with a lot of hype for Christ and your early things, but we
Hmm.
know that you are a musician as well.
Oh
I've
yeah.
I've already said this a million times. My favorite song you've done is Games. Let's talk about some of the singles you've done. We'll talk about the new song, I think not. But before we
Oh
get
yeah.
there, what are your musical inspirations and what goes into the creation of some of these singles?
Hmm. Good question. One of my top musical inspirations is to be myself. Okay. And one of the things is to kind of always just drift apart from doing what other people are doing. I'm always just like studying. I love to study what other people do, but then I also like to say, okay, this has already been done. This has been done. This has been done. What can I do that I like about this and switch it to something that would be more of a LT Fresh type situation? So I'm always trying to create different crazy visuals. Um, I know Double Tap. We had to film that during COVID time. I couldn't get that audio for Double Tap to be the greatest, but I'm always just like, you know what? I'm not gonna let COVID hold me back from being creative. So I'm just gonna have to do the best I can with this, and we're gonna just put it out. So the music video is one of those things that was just like crazy creative. Um, it really took a lot of time. It took a lot of money too, but I did. I literally funded all of my music with DoorDash, and they didn't sponsor me to say that. So they want to give me some money. They
Hook
need
that
to,
man
because
up. He promoting y'all.
give me some money. But no, so literally, I've been doing all of my own recordings, paying for all of my other different stuff. kind of just been trying to be able to be creative and be this person that I like to be. So with other than being different and being crazy creative, some music inspirations. Um Beyonce is definitely one of those top persons. Beyonce and Nicki Minaj on the same panel stool. I feel like Beyonce, her performance styles, if you were to see some of my performances, it's always going to give a production. It's always going to be details. And I feel like Beyonce is one of those people who really pays attention to details when it comes to her craft. And that's what I really like because that's what I like to do. I like to kind of like pinpoint every single different thing that's going to kind of be strategic enough to make people go like, whoa, what did I just see? Even doing like I've done 5 minute performances and changed clothes 3 times. That's the type of energy I like to give. And that's the type of energy I feel like Beyonce give. Now Nicki on the other hand, I feel like her wordplay, when it comes to me writing songs, I'm always thinking of creative ways to just like be like, okay, I like the way this sounds, but I want to kind of switch sounds. And I feel like Nicki is an artist that's very versatile with switching sounds and being able to lyrically just be able to push a pen. So that's why I feel like my inspirations are. And other than and now up under that comes along with people like Usher and Chris Brown and Bruno Mars, a whole bunch of other people that I just love to look up to performance wise. So that's kind of my inspirations.
Well, we heard about Double Tap. Games
Yeah.
is my favorite, but let's talk about
Oh
this
yeah.
newest song you have.
Oh my goodness, y'all. I think not right now, besides Games is my favorite one too. Games is a lot of people's favorites. So Games and I think not now it's currently my favorite one. So um I think not is gonna be because it's still in the process and see like I haven't had the time to really promote and push I think not as much as I want to right now, at least right now, because I'm filming a whole bunch of different stuff. But um, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. But I think not is a song. Basically, it really can go multiple different ways. I know the way that I wrote the song is maybe it's about a person who's in a relationship being taken advantage of, and I know a lot of people maybe in a situation like that now where they're feeling like, okay, I'm here just because I'm here. But I feel like at the same time, this person really truly doesn't love me and really doesn't understand my morals or um what I'm worth. So it's kind of just like a song, just like, I think not, I'm done with it. I think not. That's all you gotta say. And it can go towards some other stuff. Are you at your job and you don't like your boss? Your boss is taking advantage of you. I think not. Or maybe you're in traffic. Someone cut you off. I think not. Or give me another one, Mr. Elwood.
Listen, I listen to some whack albums, and I turn on that album, and I'm 3 songs in. I think not.
I think
I
not.
think not.
So you literally can say it about a whole bunch of different stuff. So that's kind of the meaning of that song. You get to just say I think not, okay? And it's a fun song. It's very catchy. Performing that song has been some of the craziest stuff I ever done. I was able to go back, come back to Birmingham, and shout out to Milk and Honey for putting me on. Um, they gave me a platform in the eyes of pop music. Now that's been one of the things that I can talk about going back to struggles is kind of finding the category that you fit in.
Mm.
Now, if you're a multi-creative, multi-genre person like me, it's going to be hard to kind of find that category that you actually want to sit in. I kind of just went on and settled down and was like, you know what? For right now, I'm gonna just identify as a pop artist, and I still do that. I mean, because see, if you listen to my songs, the sound is pop, but I would mix in like games, hip hop in there, or it can even be R&B as well too. But it still has that soul pop sound to it. So we're gonna say I'm a pop artist, guys. But
And
yeah, so go
And
ahead.
I feel you on that because you hear a lot of conversation, especially today at the time of this video. We just heard that Beyonce is coming out with this
Mhm.
country album. And everybody's like, oh
Yeah,
my God, why is she doing this? Why is she doing that? I've said
yeah,
so many times that we need to let artists create. So if you want to
Please.
decide to do pop, if you want to decide to do hip hop, if you want to go crazy with a rock joint, like you should be
Oh,
given the space to create and do that. And hopefully you can have a fan base who is going to follow you on that journey.
oh
So
yeah.
for sure, don't let these folks box y'all in, man.
That's one of the things that I've been experiencing since I started getting more and more into my music. It's just like, so what are you like, hip hop or R&B? That's the main thing they like to try to throw on me. And that's one thing that I kind of struggle with in Birmingham and Atlanta as well. It's not a lot of pop artists, at least known pop artists from Birmingham and Atlanta. It's more of a gospel, R&B, hip hop type platform area. And it's not a lot of room for pop artists, at least right now. So you never know what you can do. So that's why I'm kind of just continue to build my own platform within these tight spaces that's overwhelmed with hip hop, R&B, and gospel artists. And I feel like if I'm able to just wiggle in and keep on getting in there, eventually I've been made it. So if I can make it in Birmingham and Atlanta, I know for sure once I go over to areas that's more of a predominant pop community like New York or LA, it's just like we already made it. So dang, we've been talking and I kind of got off. What's the question?
What the at that no matter what the question is, the point is
Yeah,
this: when people ask you who, like, what are you? What are you? You LT Fresh. That's what you are.
I'm LT
I'm a
Fresh. That's
creator.
the category.
I'm a
That's the
creator. That's
category.
the category you in.
Right.
And before we sign off, it's been a great convo. It's been great talking with my
Oh
boy
yeah.
about this stuff. Here's something that I want to ask you. I want you to think about it because I think it's very important for our listeners to hear. We've
Okay.
heard you talk about how your struggle, like you came all the way, your story has been unbelievable, and the story is still being written because you are
Oh
just
yeah.
now falling into what you've meant to do. So if a young person is watching this, they've been following LT Fresh on Instagram, they've been watching your snaps. Maybe they
Mhm.
found I Think Not or Games on YouTube or whatever. Or they're about to see you on one of these shows that's about to pop up that we can't talk about just yet.
Right.
But what do you say to that young person who stayed from the same hood, who family had the same struggles? How can you encourage them to follow that same path that you're on? What do you say to that young person?
Mm. I would say don't limit yourself. And that's what I felt a lot of people that came from the same community as I did is doing still now, is limiting themselves where that's all they know. And although it's something all you know, don't be scared to kind of step outside the box to figure out other different things. And of course it's gonna be hard. Of course it's gonna be scary. Of course you're gonna have problems doing it. But at the same time, as long as you keep on working and kind of keep on fighting to be this person that you want to be, eventually you're gonna be able to break that ice and step into it, step into your purpose. Another thing, don't be scared to be, yourself, being creative. You know, a lot of people have so many different talents and so many different stuff that they want to do, but are scared to do it because it's not the norm, or it doesn't seem like nobody would pick up on it, or it may not be something that your peers may not like. It may be something your family doesn't like neither. And some people are living based off the morals of what their family wants or what their friends may want to see them doing. Do what you want to do, okay? Because that's what I do. I do what I want to do, and it's just like whatever comes with that. As long as I'm happy, as long as I'm doing what I want to do, and being able to make money off it, and being able to be, you know, continue to build a platform and being able to be successful, I'm gonna keep doing it no matter who got something to say about it. Of course, you want to still, love your family, love your friends, but sometimes even family and friends got to be left behind because if they're not left behind, you're gonna be back there with them too.
Ooh, you better
So,
preach.
so sometimes you just gotta move, and that's one thing I like to always say. If you can dream it, you can be it for real. I know it sounds so cheesy and so crazy, but it is really happening. Like, I'm still not where I want to be right now. I'm not this big person that a lot of people on social media like to make it seem like I am. Look, I'm still climbing and fighting myself. And eventually we're gonna get there. And as long as we have faith and believe and continue to know that it's something way bigger on the other side, that's all you can really think about. So don't think about what your family wants. Don't think about what your friend wants. Think about what you want, okay?
And
Think about what you
let me add one more thing to that. A bit thinking
Yeah.
about what you want to be. Be true to
Yeah.
yourself, because if you were not true to yourself, you would not have been doing Instacart that day, wearing the outfit that you designed. Someone
Look,
saw you and was like, "This is an interesting brother. Let me talk to him." And the next thing you know, you walking past Neo and them on a Christmas movie.
come
That's
on.
because you were authentic to yourself. That's the LT Fresh
Yeah.
story. That's why I wanted to have you on this episode. LT Fresh, thank you for coming through. Thank you. This was a great interview. So happy to do this for you, player. Tell
Awesome.
everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on everywhere, I believe, LT Fresh 123. And that's LT Fresh 123. So when you go on there on my Instagram page, y'all make sure y'all click that link at
Yes,
the top in the bio, as well as I have a text community as well. So you can text me your name. And I add you to your in the community as well, so you can continue to follow up with me. That number is also on my Instagram in the bio as well. You won't miss not a performance and not a release. And not, I'm thinking about me even like continue to put like some of the shows and stuff that I might be on in there as well. But I don't know. Just turn on the notifications on Instagram. You won't miss nothing. Also,
absolutely.
I think I might be getting ready to do some pop-up concerts too. So
Okay. Okay. Now this was breaking news to me. So yes, follow my man on social media to make sure you don't miss those performances. I've seen him. You talk about boundless energy. This brother don't
oh
ever get tired. He is everywhere. And we're gonna
oh
have
no.
some clips, of course, running through this episode so you can absolutely see my man in action. LT,
Oh yeah.
thank you so much for joining us. You know, I'll be talking to you offline probably in like 3 or
Oh
4
yeah.
minutes anyway, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us, and thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of the Soul and Spirit
No, and
Confessions.
thank you for having me, and thank you for continuing to be in my life. You're such an amazing person, y'all. This guy, along with I like to call him the big three, him, Miss Annette, Miss Elaine. Oh, and big four, Miss Brewer as well.
Yep.
Y'all, these people have really like sewn into not just my life, my whole family life, to kind of help shape and mold me to the person I am today. So I'm forever grateful for you guys. Thank you.
And we're grateful for you. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you, L2. We will see y'all next time.
So do I just like
Hold on, I'm old. I'm trying to stop the recording.
Oh